Every so often, I come across a cozy game that just hooks me. Sometimes it's the art, sometimes the mechanics, sometimes just the general feel of the game. Chibig are a studio who knows how to combine these traits into fun, cozy adventures you'll want to play for hours. Mika and the Witch's Mountain was released in August 2024, developed and published by Chibig, who are known for previous cozy games Ankara Lost Days, Dayland Pocket Planet, Koa and the Five Pirates of Mara, and Summer in Mara. All the games are connected in little ways, such as different characters visiting other game worlds, and the art style is so distinct, you'll always recognize a Chibig game. It came out on Nintendo Switch and Steam, receiving a 66 on Switch and very positive reviews on Steam. Reviewers pointed out the obvious similarities to Studio Ghibli's Kiki's delivery service, but not in a bad way. The relaxed aspect was very prevalent, and though it was short and sweet, it was the right length for a game like this. Negative reviews didn't like the length, however, and even found the back and forth of deliveries to be repetitive, making the game unmemorable and simply adequate. We play as Mika, an aspiring witch who wants to enroll in magic school, run by Mistress Witch, Miss Oligari. Mika is thrown off the top of the mountain in order to test her. Seems reasonable and not an overreaction at all. Mika decides to help the townsfolk of the island in order to get some coins to buy a new broom and fly back up to the magic school. She becomes a courier and uses her broom to fly packages around the island while making friends and learning the townsfolk's stories. We have a delivery card we need to complete in order to get paid, and certain packages require us to take care of them in a certain way so we can get a green stamp. This can be not knocking the parcels around too much, keeping them away from water, or even delivering something in a certain amount of time. I'd already played a couple of Chibig games, so I knew the general gist of them. There's quite a lot of dialogue, but then you get left alone for a while to play and explore, so you're not constantly bombarded with story. The art style is always something that catches my attention. It's cute, but not childish, and every character has their own look, and their personalities show through even before they say a word. The story is pretty simple, and some of the townsfolk might seem generic, but it was fun meeting them all and trying to deliver their packages perfectly. I was a little worried the flying mechanics would be all over the place, and I'd constantly be flying into walls or just generally crash landing, but they're actually quite good. They're not solid or tight, but once you get used to the little sways and floats you feel when you steer, it's actually pretty easy to get the hang of. There are a few collectibles to find in the world too, like Napopo statues that we can trade in for outfits or charms, or different trail patterns our brooms make. I got overly excited when I bumped into a character from another game. It was like meeting up with an old friend, and there's 7 to find. Though this is a cozy game, you're thrown into the game quite quickly, and don't have to wait to get your broom or start your first delivery job. The conversations are a little long, but they're infrequent enough that you don't feel like you're reading a book. The jobs themselves take as long as you want them to, except for the time-sensitive ones. You can pick up a package, then explore the entire island before you deliver it if you want to. The only thing that will be in the back of your mind is trying not to damage the items. But thankfully, if you do, you can respawn them where you first collected them, which ensures a green stamp every time. The weird thing was that just as the story was getting interesting and felt like it was going somewhere, suddenly it ended. Some characters we see once or twice, and some areas are so small you can explore them completely in a few minutes. As a cozy game, this requires little effort to play. The most you have to think about is trying not to damage parcels, but with the respawn, you can try as many times as you want, which takes the pressure off quite a bit. There's a map to help you find your way around the island, and make sure you deliver the parcels to the right people, which was a huge lifesaver when I came back to the game after a while and forgot where I was meant to be going. You're also not at risk of fall damage or drowning, as Mika can fly her broom over water and even take a little dip without falling off. There's air currents you can use to either thrust you forward or lift you up, and we can even use rings to launch us to places a little faster. Again, I was worried I'd miss these currents or fall off them somehow, but they're pretty easy to get into. And if you fall out of one, you can always find a way back onto them. This game takes away a lot of mechanics that prevent players from wanting to explore or take little risks, which is great because you never feel like one fall messed up an hour's worth of flying, and you feel like the devs made a world that's easy to explore. Well, this is a cozy game built on the foundation of being relaxing to play. There's no time constraints, well, no big ones. Only a couple of deliveries require you to act fast. Flying around the island is fun and you feel safe enough to try out different air currents to see where each one leads. The different items you can collect range from easy to find to requiring you to actively look out for them, but you're not punished for not finding them all. The short length of the main story, for me, was a little too short, and there weren't enough side missions to bulk things out. But I can see how it would get a little boring if there were too many deliveries to make on such a small island. The music is laid back and gives you a gentle soundtrack to fly around to. It's a shame there's no voice acting, but I think by now it's Chibig's style to do the little oohs and ahs. Mika and the Witch's Mountain is a great relaxing game, but is a little on the short side. I found myself wanting more once the story ended, but I did appreciate the sort of side mission of finding collectibles. I did find myself just flying around in between deliveries, trying to see what secrets I could stumble across, or just enjoying the scenery change. Don't expect an in-depth story with huge character development and loads of upgrades to work towards. This is as simple as it gets. If you like cozy games, cute art, fun flying mechanics, and exploring without falling risks, you should definitely grab Mika and the Witch's Mountain. It really does deliver. This was fun. Let's do it again sometime. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like down below.